And that's kind of what we're talking about. We're talking about authority and trust.
Expertise, authoritiveness, and then
Yeah,
trustworthiness, right? So like
yeah.
those are really the golden standard in terms of SEO and what Google wants to see. So this is where our work as SEO guys or as business owners want to focus on one thing, just focus on this. And the way you do it is creating good content. Tim,
Leor, how are you doing?
good man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while.
How you been?
Really good. No problems at all, really.
Yeah, how's America?
It's it's America.
It's a
It may have its problems, but it's good. It's good.
yeah. Well, you've had
How's Portugal?
Portugal is, to be honest, you know how you learn to appreciate a place only after you live it. So
Yeah.
that's my experience with Portugal. So
Well, I watched your video. I watched your moving back video, and I really liked it. So
yeah. So still like the food, like Mexico has way better food. Don't tell to the Portuguese, but other than that, yeah, it's good to be back. Weather is amazing. You know, the scenery is great.
yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, a lot of good friends of ours are here, so it's cool to be back. You know, and to be honest,
Cool.
I thought that it would be harder in terms of time zone, but I'm a night owl anyway, so it's okay. Like I'm finishing up my work day not as late as I used to, just because I'm now trying to keep a more balanced lifestyle, like a work life balance. So yeah, like 9-10 p.m. I'm wrapping up, so it's really good. It's really good. How's the Midwest?
The Midwest is good. It's been a little rainy here, but other than that, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. So, like my students, obviously they know you from our private podcast for the members of Local Service Mastery, but a lot of the people here watching this video might never heard of you. So maybe we'll give them a quick intro and introduction to Tim Arnold. So the stage is yours.
Okay. Well, I've been doing SEO for over 20 years, and I may be one of the first group of people to get into SEO. I believe I started somewhere back around 2000. So I started doing national SEO. Real easy to rank at first. Google, they constantly tweak and squeeze people out and make things better, and I got squeezed out into the national. So I went to local, and I found out local is the place to be. And we may get into some of that with Google's new changes in this interview, but local for me has always been extremely lucrative and a little easier than national. But I've been doing this quite a while.
Yeah.
Quite a while.
Yeah. So, obviously, yeah, like everything that goes on right now in the whole SEO sphere is super fascinating, especially with AI, which we'll dive into in a second. But you know what I found the most interesting thing in SEO is that I feel like there's almost parallel universes where, like there's the hands-on, I don't want to say like black hat, but like people understand how the system and how the machine actually works, and then there's like the LinkedIn SEO and Twitter guys SEO, which is like it's two parallel universes where most people, like, obviously they don't know about like the private groups, and they don't know what's going on with like different private tools that some of the more advanced guys and the people who've been in the industry for a while are using, and not taking anything that Google has to say at face value, but actually testing things out and seeing what works and what doesn't. But do you find it to be true? Like, do you notice this thing, or is it just me?
I see it every day, and I think you may be alluding to the short game versus the long game. I used to be, when I first started, I was more black hat, more gray hat. And then I realized, the long game, doing things right, doing things white hat is where it's at. And especially for clients, they don't want any black hat. They don't want to wake up one morning and see something funky on the internet that you did for them, So doing things right, it may be slow at first. It may not get quick results, but it'll give you longevity in this business. There's a lot of gurus, and I'm subscribed to some of them on YouTube, and I watch them, and I think, well, there's a shortcut. Maybe I want to jump on that because it's real attractive to get in there and make some shortcut and rank. But the problem with that is 6 months later, you're back to finding another shortcut because Google closed that loophole. Right. So doing things the way Google wants them done, and there's some shortcuts even in that, but doing things the way Google wants it, to see them done is really the way to go to build your business in the long run.
No, I
keeps you from being suspended and just a whole myriad of problems.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with this, and this is why, to be honest, even in our program, I'm not putting as much attention into like backlinks and like the different softwares, and I'd love to get your take on it. But for me, and especially with the results that I see our clients are having, like with just simple citation and a nice PR campaign, every quarter or so, you can get freaking like top ranking results. No, like thousands of backlinks, no like spamming the internet with different articles and different stuff. So I wanted to know if, like, since last time we talked, has your views changed, or is it more on like the same methods that you're like, for me, like you're the backlink guy, right? So like you're very good at it, and I want to know how you feel like 2023 has shaped, whether in a positive or negative way, your outlook on the whole backlink game.
Well, I've completely changed the way I think, and I'm with you. I agree with you. I'm getting smaller in what I do and more precise and more quality, and I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff that may have worked. 5,000 backlinks may have been cool at one time, but if I backlink right now, and I was just thinking about this morning before this interview, it's very precise, and it's let's just say I'm doing a plumber in Kansas City. I'm backlinking to either Kansas City sites or plumber sites.
Right.
Things that Google wants to see. They don't want to see me blog 10,000 times to Blogspot or Web 2.0. They want to see very relevant backlinks. So it's better to have 5 or 10 relevant backlinks in relevant blogs than it is to have 10,000 out there. That no longer, I don't know if it works. I don't think it works, but I'm my circle is getting smaller as far as everything I do. It's more precise and more quality.
Right.
And I think that's what you're saying.
Absolutely. And I think that with Google, what's the acronym for EAT? So it's there's the authoritativeness,
authority, trust, and what's the first one?
Yeah, and experience or something. Let me quickly look it up.
Yeah, you bet.
EAT.
And that's kind of what we're talking about. We're talking about authority and trust.
Expertise, authoritativeness, and then trustworthiness, yeah. Right? So like those are really the golden standard in terms of SEO and what Google wants to see. So this is where our work as SEO guys or as business owners want to focus on one thing, just focus on this. And the way you do it is creating good content, which is crazy. Like, how do you? I'm curious. Like, how do you work with, let's say you talked about that plumber in Kansas City, right? So
Yeah.
how do you get them to start creating their own content? Do you find the work difficult?
I rarely see. They're so busy plumbing that they hire me to do content where I can, and I don't do content everywhere, but I can give you a couple places where I do for sure. GMB posting would be one of them.
No, I get it, but I'm like,
Yeah.
for me is I'm pushing my students as, hey, first of all, create that video. Just like when you, and it's very simple, right? Like just go ahead on your job site, just record before and after, explain what you're doing. And this piece of content, then you can reiterate it and change it into a blog post and the Google Business Profile post, social post. All that stuff is great. But I'm wondering, from your perspective as a professional SEO, how is this working with the client side?
As far as having the client create the content?
Yep. Like video content, is this something that you're pushing them to do, or is it not much? You're not putting that much emphasis on it?
Well, we are, and I will say what I do personally. Just for an example, I do work for a roofing company, and they are just simply too busy to do these types of things. And so what I did is I got a hold of them, and they told me where they did some of their jobs, and I went out and took pictures of these houses, and then I uploaded them to their GMB. And it was a wide area because I wanted them to rank in a wider area, so I wanted to get some pictures from the north side of this town here. And that's what I went out and did. If I would have waited, I'm afraid it probably would have never happened. No fault of theirs. They're putting on new roofs, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have to go out and do that myself. But there's actually there's a girl here in our town that is actually doing video for businesses as a service. You might consider that your students might consider that if they're not working for their own business and they're working for clients. And she actually goes into businesses and does video in the business just like you described. Again, the business a lot of times doesn't have the time to do it, but they'd welcome somebody to come in and take care of that for them. People love to outsource, I found out, especially businesses and especially successful businesses that have a nice budget to do that with. Yeah.
And I think that, you know, like here's what I'm struggling with. Like when you're saying they don't have time to do that. To be honest, for me, that's your business. As a service business owner, that's your business. It doesn't matter whether you're a plumber, a mold remediation, a roofer, whatever it is. Your business is to generate leads. Your technicians can do the work, can do the installation of the roof, can do the repair, can do whatever. But your job is to generate the leads. So I don't know how in 2023, like so many of the service business owners don't get it and feel like that's just a responsibility that I can offset to someone else. Now, in your specific case, I can attest, you actually know, and not just know, you actually do the work. But 99% of this industry is full of scammers and low quality workers where you're offsetting. What you're doing is basically you're spending thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars a year on someone that promise you that it'll do something, but you have no idea what they're doing. So you have no way of holding them accountable, of seeing whether the work was done or not. Nothing. So it's like the Wild West.
Yeah, I do have a few clients that do their own marketing and do it very well, but I would say a lot of it is, outsourced. I was going to tell you something else, and the thought just left me. That's nothing new here. But,
You're good.
But yeah, I know what it was. I think you have to educate the business owner of the importance of these marketing efforts that you're talking about, and to let them know that these videos uploaded to their GMBs, these pictures, gives their presence more weight in Google's eyes, And I see that every day from my perspective because I'm always looking at the Google search results. But sometimes they don't understand how important that is, and they don't see the rise in rankings over time because of those efforts. So I think maybe educating the person, just like you were doing, is key to, training those business owners to do these things.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So let's talk about a little bit about AI, Bard. Have you experimented with Bard?
I have, just only slightly, but I have looked at it. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously, it like those tools are game changers, Google's generative AI search results. Is this something that, like, how do you see this affecting SEO? What are type of things that business owners should focus on more in order to combat these upcoming changes that are going to appear in everyone's search results pretty soon?
I have an opinion on that. I don't know exactly how it's all going to lay out. We haven't seen it, yet in Google, how they're ultimately going to implement that into Google search. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be, if you look at Bing, if you look at what Bing did, it's a tab. It's another tab. So it's an option. I can't see Google doing away with, the links. Google wants to connect you with these services and these people at some level. At some level, they want to keep you on their page, but at some level, they want to connect you with local businesses. If you look at their rollout video, I watched the whole rollout video.
Yeah.
They showcased all of the new upcoming changes. The one thing that they didn't go over is Google Local, the 3-pack.
Yeah.
And that signals to me it won't change.
Yeah.
Because if it did, they would have showcased it, and there's apparently no change. So back to what I said about doing national versus local, I switched over to local. Local has been protected over the years from a lot of the changes that Google's made, and it's remained a great place for SEO people to work and for businesses to get to be seen unscathed from some of this other stuff that Google's doing.
Right.
And I think local is protected somewhat from AI. We'll see,
It's a question. Well, in that video, and also let me try to see if I can find the their announcement real quick. But basically, what they did was they focused on shopping. So they showed the there it is.
Mm-hmm.
Supercharging. Let me see if I can share this tab. Share. All right. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we can see like this example of what's better for a family with kids under 3 and a dog, Bryce Canyon or Arches National Park, right? So it gives you. So this is the example that they showed, which is more of an informational query rather than local. And they showed another one. Let's see if it's over here. Yeah, there it is for shopping.
Yeah.
Which gives you some more.
But they, as you can see, they still have the links, they're intact. And somebody mentioned that these are the top links anyway. So they're inserting their AI plus the links that you would probably see anyway. That's my take on it.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Well, if you're doing this exact search, I think it remains to be seen when and how AI is going to pop up. Are you going to see the Google search results normally, or is there going to be a place like it says Converse up there,
right,
on that tab on the upper left? Is that the AI tab that you have the option to look at, or are you going to get your search results plus the option to go to AI? That's kind of key. to how things end up being, really.
Yeah, yeah, and to be honest, I think that even with this, it all comes down to creating enough content around your product, right? Whether it's like your service, whatever
Yeah.
it is, and whether it's your Google Business Profile, just fill it out with as much information. Don't just think about the okay, plumber, Kansas City. No, think about the different type of plumbing needs or services or questions that people ask you over the phone, and make sure that you populate your assets, your website, your Google Business Profile, maybe make a video on it. Make sure you populate all that so that when the AI goes and scrapes and searches, it finds you to be the most relevant answer.
Most relevant and most informative. A couple things popped into my head when you were showing that. I can tell you, I've been in this game long enough that when Google makes a change, in 3 weeks, we know how to get back in the search results.
Right.
I've seen it so many times. I mean, they've got smart guys. We've got smart guys.
Yeah, yeah, and we're
And
more open
it's
source.
a cat and mouse.
Yeah, and yeah,
It's cat and mouse. So we'll be in if they've got links in the AI, we'll have some links in the AI.
yeah.
I mean, that's reality. You made a real good point. When I'm working with my client sites, and I wanted to ask you, are your students, are they SEO people, or are they business people?
No. So all my students are home service business owners. Some of them never opened up a computer before, and they're all getting like top results ranking on pretty competitive keywords and in pretty competitive markets. So in California, in Miami, and like in different parts of the country where it's really like there's heavy competition. But why do they get this? Because I'm just like drilling them day in, day out, just content, create more content, So just the output that they're putting in is something that normally an SEO company, like it'll take them like 3 or 4x the time, just because they have way more clients to do it. And so not SEO people, but they learn everything from me from the ground up. So from A to Z, basically.
And I'm not sure I can improve on what you're saying there as far as content, because you got to establish yourself as the authority, in your area for that subject matter, So if you're a roofer, like you say, got to get your videos up there on social media from your roofing, your pictures, your articles. And as far as being an authority, a lot of people, using AI, I'm not sure they're using it, and I don't know, but I'm just speculating. You can't just throw an AI article up there. That's not going to work. You've got to make sure that article has maybe some bullet points, some tables, FAQs. I mean, you really have to make it informative, long form. Be careful with some AI products, because now Chat AI now it has the ability to go out on the net. They're rolling that out right now. I use something called Katteb, Katteb.com, and it actually gives the sources, for all the articles that it sources for the articles that it builds, because you can build some articles and the information is erroneous.
Yeah.
And that's no good.
Yeah.
But you want to make sure that you're putting out good information out there, and you're putting a lot of it out there.
Yeah.
Around a lot of different subjects. You can actually go to AI and say, okay, I'm a roofer. Give me all the sub ideas that come under roofing for my roofing business, and it'll give you those. And then you can build articles around those sub ideas for that cluster of keywords.
100%. And let me try to pull up the guide that I made for working with. There it is.
While you're doing that, I want to throw this out too, along this line. In that rollout video that Google did, one of the girls said something key for me. She said, what we're looking for is content from first person content from experienced people. And man, if you're going to use AI, you better not do the third person.
Yeah.
I'm starting to change everything over to first person. But they want to hear, and just like I said, that's what they want to hear. They want to hear first person content.
Right. So, like, also in the figure of speech, you mean?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I've actually generated some content, I tell the AI to use I'm, I've, we, all the pronouns. I put them right in the prompt. And then I also tell it from an experience point of view, in a trustworthy manner. I've got these big long prompts. We all got them now. But I think that's important. And you got to be careful because AI can really overdo it sometimes. But I just feel like, once in a while Google will tell you what they want, and you have to listen. And that lady said they don't want these big blogs with thousands of news articles. They want to hear it from a person that has actually been there. It's called helpful content. That's what they consider helpful content. And it's key. That's key. If you're a business owner, talk from your personal experience.
Absolutely.
And tell them how it is.
Absolutely. And I think that, to be honest, people need to think about AI in general as maybe the junior writer and you're the publications editor, right? So you're the chief editor in your own publication. So you have to proofread and you have to make sure that the facts are correct, and you need to pay attention into the figure of speech and all that stuff. And you can't leave at this point. Maybe in 6 months we'll be in a completely different place, but at this point you need to be on top of it. And what I did, I actually let me just plug this real quick because I think it's also something that's helpful for our viewers. Is so I created basically the ultimate ChatGPT guide for home service businesses. If you wanna, if you want it, and that there's going to be a link down in the description of this video. But the way I found to work best with AI is, first you need to assign a role, right? So you need to give it a role. You are a roofing company manager in Cincinnati, Ohio, whatever it is, right? So you need to give it a precise role. Second, you need to provide specific details, and this is for us, right? People who have been engaging with computers for many years and know how to speak with computer. It's almost a second nature. But for a lot of these blue collar home service business owners, like some of them never, like all they do is just restaurant near me, or like a barber shop, like very short queries, where now we're entering a new age where you need to be way more informative about what you want if you want to get a good response. So that's number 2. And number 3, it's encouraging questions. And that's asking, after you give it the role and after you give it the specific task, ask it what other questions do they have for you in order to provide the best result possible. So once you do all these 3 things, then you can be sure that you'll be getting the best response possible and the best results possible from the AIs that you're using. So
that's good, yeah.
Yeah. So these are really the 3 things, and then on top of it, what you said, I think is valuable, is have the AI right and like as if it's talking about itself, not about a company is doing, or these company, or us, or whatever it is, but talking about yourself.
I might throw something else out there in line with your prompt. I was watching something about a chatbot, an AI chatbot, and you can actually take all the text from your website and actually upload the entire text to AI and tell it, this is my website, this is who we are, and it'll look at it all. And the purpose was for the chatbot to know what the website was about so it could answer questions, but it would work, with just about anything you're going to do with your business.
Yeah.
It's really kind of amazing that the AI can understand your business based on all this information, and then start spitting out, things. It's. I think we take it for granted, but it's rather amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm working on a technological solution as well. I can't reveal much just yet, but yes, this we were for me. That the thing is that the changes happen so rapidly nowadays, and it's like for 10 years we're like, smooth sailing it, and everything was okay. Yeah, there's some tweaks and some changes, and now every day that I'm not on Twitter, like 10 new plugins and 10 new things come out, and it's just like, oh my god, like this is so fast, and you have.
I see a lot of opinions out there on the internet in these groups, and I hesitate to have an opinion because I don't feel qualified because of the fact that it's going so fast. As soon as I have an opinion, something's changed and, made a fool of me,
Absolutely.
But it's changing too fast to almost, to be able to really dig in and do anything with what you got, because tomorrow the software you bought yesterday is going to be obsolete and there's going to be more features, so it's tough.
Absolutely.
I wanted to go back and say something about what you said earlier about business people doing their own doing their own content, and we talked about how a lot of them don't do that. Hang on just a second. I have a little problem here. There we go. If a business owner would do their videos and take pictures and get involved in content, they would shine like the sun, because there's so many people that aren't doing it. And the best person to do that is the business owner. They're there every day. They know the interesting things that happen during the day and the things that the people, their customers want to see. And if they could get involved, that would just shoot their marketing up, 100%. One thing I noticed in SEO, we'll go into get a new company on board, and I'll go out and do some auditing and some research, and I'll find out there's nobody out there that has did SEO in this niche, and this company hasn't even did anything. So, anything you do is heads and tails above what other people are doing. If you've got time to do this, do it, because you're going to be the top dog in your niche.
And it's not about
it doesn't take a lot.
No, go ahead.
It doesn't take a lot of effort sometimes. It doesn't take a lot.
Yeah. It doesn't take a lot of effort, and more than that, it takes you to reset your priorities and readjust them and understand that this is the most important thing. Earlier this week, was it this week or last? I think last week, I've interviewed a private equity company. She's like a managing director. They their fund has like $300 million fund, and they invest in service businesses. And I've interviewed also Austin, who has another fund. And these companies, what they do is they give you multiple. And so if you have a service business and you're thinking about selling it in 5, 7, 10 years, whatever it is, down the line, just by you understanding the importance of lead generation, not just relying on referrals and not just relying on repeated customers or whatever it is, and you're putting your focus on that aspect, and you either learn how to do it yourself, and to be honest, Tim, even for us, people who learn how to do it themselves, my thing is you don't have to do it yourself, but you need to understand it. And so then you can go ahead and hire people like Tim, train people in-house, hire a VA, whatever it is, but you understand how that is. bottom line, your multiple increases because now you know how to generate leads for yourself, and you're not stagnating, but you're actually elevating and growing your business. And so it's a no-brainer that every business owner should know how to generate their own leads and should make this a priority for their business. Now, another thing I wanted to mention, when we talked about the different tools, because like I used to, like a year ago, before ChatGPT came out in public, I used to recommend everyone who joined our program, you go use Jasper. Jasper was a great solution, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Now you don't need to spend that $70 anymore. Like ChatGPT does everything. The only thing, and one of the most important traits you as business owners and people who are watching this, one of the most important traits you can have is learn how to engage and learn how to communicate with computers, aka AI. Mm-hmm. That's a trait that is really it's so important, Tim.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. In any small business, the number one job isn't what you do, it's marketing, in my opinion.
Yep.
If you're a plumber or whatever you do, if you're a roofer, your number one job is marketing first. Nothing happens without a sale. So marketing today is something that you have to continue educate yourself about, maybe even on a daily basis. So a business owner should spend time every day or every week, like you just said, finding out what's going on out there in the internet and what they can do to become part of that with their business. To me, that's their priority. And then, everything follows that.
Absolutely. And nowadays, if we're linking this to AI, now, if you're recording your video, creating video, having your junior assistant, whatever it is, just having the camera open and you're just explaining what it is that you're doing. Now, transcription, they're done automatically, whether it's on YouTube and then you can download it, whether it's on software like we're using right now to record.
On your hand.
Everything is available, and then you can use like one of these tools that is turning this content. It can turn it into a blog post. It can turn it into a caption. It can turn it into a Q&A, whatever it is. But start creating content. And that will basically separate you from the rest of the competition 100%.
Absolutely. Because as crazy as it is, not everybody's doing what you just said, and as easy as it is, not everybody's doing. I'm going to state the obvious here. When I was growing up, and maybe when you were growing up, if you were watching TV and you wanted to be on the TV, you had to pay a lot of money to be, to be in a commercial, and the TV was grainy, and the commercial was even worse than the production we were watching. But it was just a very closed system, and now, I mean, you can literally, you can literally take your phone, create a video, and contact and upload that video to the world within 10 minutes. I don't think it's just an amazing thing. It's just amazing. We all take it for granted, and it seems silly that I'm pointing this out, but there was a time you didn't get on TV.
Right.
But I can be in front of somebody within 5 minutes,
Absolutely.
And that's so obvious, but you got to get that business out there in front of people. I want to mention my son. He's got a couple businesses on the side, and one of them is a DJ. Then they also do wedding photography, and they're using social media out there. They're always producing content and showing off what they do constantly, and they're always getting booked, because they're just engaging and using social media. I think they use Instagram and Facebook, but you got to kind of choose what works for you. But just take a quick video and get it out there, and take your pictures and engage and take the time to do it.
Absolutely.
Could anything be easier and less cost right now in 2023 than that.
It's just priority, and I think that
It's priority.
for a lot of business owners, it's getting over the fear of not being picture perfect and not looking like
Yeah.
Richard Gere or whatever. Like, get over it, man. You don't have to be perfect. On the contrary, I think that if you're not perfect, and if you have flaws, and like you're a bit overweight, like you're losing your whatever, like people can relate, because none of us looks like like we're TV stars, but people can relate, and
No.
people want to work with people who look like them, talk like them, and so it's very easy. Still, it blows my mind that I'm saying it, but it's very easy in 2023 to rise above the noise and become a figure in your industry, in your area, with content. So that's something that everyone should start doing today.
I want to say that was a great point you made about not feeling good about yourself. But success doesn't always go to the talented. It goes to the person a lot of times that will do the work, And so if you kind of get past the fact that you're not quite as great as or good looking or as talented as the next guy, but you'll put in the work, you'll pass. It's the rabbit in the hare story. You'll pass that person up that's talented, that's sitting on the couch,
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
any other like important updates? Like there was the helpful content update. I don't know if you saw it. How Google kind of retracted from their statement that helpful content, or no, what was it? Shoot,
they first they said they weren't for AI. They didn't allow it.
Yeah,
or something
yeah.
along that line, and then
Yeah.
they changed their minds. Well, I think it kind of overwhelmed them.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure they can. I'm not sure they can detect AI, but I'm not sure that they can't. But I do know that they can tell what an article is about and the perspective and one thing I want to point out too along those lines is I posted some AI articles to a client's website, about 20 of them. They went absolutely nowhere. And so I thought, what's going on? So I watched a video that talked about making sure your entities and your LSI words, the important words Google expects to see in that niche, are there. So I went back, I got some software that will add some paragraphs into these articles with all those words for that niche, and they went right to the top.
Amazing.
So make sure when you're posting articles, Google a lot of times, the AI isn't as important as making sure all those LSI words and all, entity words, phrases are in there.
So explain for those of the viewers who don't know what LSI means.
Well, it's words that Google expects to see in an article about a certain subject. So back to the plumber, clogged drains might need to be in there. I tell you where to go to find out. Just go to topicalrelevance.com.
Yep.
And you'll just type in your keyword, and it'll give you all the words that should be in an article about that subject. And then you take those words and you tell AI, make sure these words are in there, in your prompt. And they'll put 80% or 90%, and that should be plenty. But you can really be fooling yourself if you're just producing AI articles all day long thinking that they're going to rank, because there's more to it than that. Google's not that stupid.
Yeah, and and I think that it's super important that like what you just mentioned, because it shows how instead of working against AI or having AI replace you, is kind of a back and forth relationship where you're feeding it information, it gives you out the result, you're coming back to it with some more iterations and some more things that it needs to do in order for it to produce that perfect article and that perfect blog post, and then you get the desired results that helps you rank up. So it's not just like a one thing, produce me 30 blog posts about plumbing. No, these would go nowhere.
No. Back to the business owner. The business owner will put those words in there naturally. If he's doing a video or whatever, he'll say those things because he knows the niche.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important for a business owner to do that. And then along the lines, back to what you were saying about not wanting to be on camera, you can do videos without being on camera. You can walk around your business, and face the camera the other direction while you're talking or narrating the video. You don't necessarily have to be in it.
Yep.
So.
And if this is what it takes for you to start recording, so be it. Soon enough, you'll see that,
Get started.
Exactly. You see that you're switching the camera over to your face. You start getting a more comfortable being in front of the camera. So whatever you need to do, just do it in order for you to start generating content. Tim, I love this quick update of ours. Any last thoughts? Any last things that you think business owners should focus on, think about in 2023 in regards to SEO and where they're headed with their business?
Just stay educated. Stay educated.
Stay educated. I love it. It. Where can people find you, Tim?
I've got a group on Facebook. It's SEO tips, tricks, and automation. So that'd be a good place to start. And I try to put stuff on there that business owners can use, stuff that people can actually use. Not stuff that's advanced. It's usually pretty intermediate, maybe even beginner. So
sweet. So we'll put a link to it down in the description below. Thank you so much, Tim, for that quick update. I love it. I think that everyone gained, especially me. I gained at least one thing with that personalization of tone of voice, which was key. Yeah. And this is something that I'm going to experiment with. So thanks again for coming. For the rest of you guys who watch this, if you enjoyed this episode of the Local Service Mastery Podcast and you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the like and subscribe to this channel. If you want to get the guide, the ChatGPT guide for home service business owners, there's going to be a link down in the description below as well. And if you want to learn how to generate your own leads yourself and grow your service business into a 7- and 8-figure company, there's going to be a link to our website, localservicemastery.com as well. Till next time, thank you guys so much. See you soon. Peace.